Delighted to be joined by Maxi Hughes here today. Firstly, mate, been a while since we've caught up. How are we?
Well, good, mate. Yeah, just getting by, ticking over in gym and waiting for that phone to ring.
Brilliant. How's the DIY been going at home? Have you still been kind of cracking on with that?
Lately, the latest thing we're doing is, you remember all massive conifers downside the house?
Yeah.
They've all come down, but what I've said to tree surgeons is I'm going to keep all logs because we've got that wood burner. It's there's years and years of central heating there, so it's been moving them, getting them stacked, and I'm going to have to start logging them, chopping them up so they dry out quicker, so that come next winter, it's annoying because they've got all this wood and I can't burn it for at least a year, till it's fully seasoned and dried out. So I've got to get on with that, get that chopped up and stacked and ready to go next year. But you sort of size of them, there's loads.
I mean, is that something that you probably enjoy the most, is doing stuff around the house and stuff like that?
Yeah, I don't mind doing it, stuff like that, but the amount that there is there, it's this is a bit of a mammoth task. There's only so much axing you can do. I think I'm going to have to upgrade and get a proper hydraulic log splitter.
It's a workout in itself, isn't it, as well? On to kind of boxing. I know you've had a while at the ring, only having one fight last year. I'm just going to ask you firstly. Well,
we're not
wow. I mean, already into next year.
we're not that far in yet.
How's that kind of been? Is it frustrating to well, you probably will only be out once, you won't be out, will you, before the end of the year?
No, yeah, it has been a bit frustrating. I got frustrated at fighting twice a year, but now I feel like I've took that for granted, fighting twice a year. I had a feeling it was going to happen like that the longer it took for just the announcement for Kambosas fight. Every couple of weeks I get a phone call, right, it's been pushed back. So, we're already out, the fight was already over the first 6 months of the year, back end of July, so nearly 7 months of the year were up by the time I'd got my first fight of 2023, so I thought the chances of fighting again this year are unlikely, but, it's life, innit? You got back in gym and carry on working on things, practicing things, so hopefully we can be out early next year and get them 2 fights in next year.
Right. I want to ask you a situation, if you don't mind explaining it at the minute. I know that you're kind of waiting for an IBF to make a sort of call, or waiting for certain fighters to fight. Kind of what's your situation at the minute with regards to your next fight?
So where we're at the minute is the IBF have let Devin Haney keep his belt. Devon's fighting on the 9th of December at the weight above. So what we're told is, after that fight, Devon's got 72 hours to inform the IBF whether he's keeping the belt or he's going to defend it. And at that point, the IBF will order him to fight whoever, or if he's vacating, which I think he's likely to do, the IBF then start ordering the mandatory contenders, which annoyingly it looks like George is going to fight Loma from the posters. Nothing official yet, and then there's me and Isaac Cruz next in the top 5. So I think that what they're going to do is order us, into fight eliminate. Yeah, it's all that tree splitting, log splitting. So they're going to order me v Cruz into a final eliminator. Whether he accepts or not, I'm not sure, because there's rumours of him fighting Tank. So I think at that point the IBF then get me and they work their way down the rankings to find the next available contender for a final eliminator. So that's kind of where we're at. We're waiting for Devon to have his fight and then that time to elapse, and then see what the IBF are going to order and see who's going to take the fight and whatnot.
I know that the final eliminator would be against Isaac Cruz. I know that kind of, he said he might not be interested in that, but kind of who are the names kind of below that would be put in next, if you kind of had a look at that, who you might be?
Yeah, so one below me is William Zapida. I think Lou DeBella's reached out to Golden Boy, who he's looked after by, and I'm not sure if he's going to go down the IBF route. They mentioned him possibly going down WBA route. The next in line after that, I believe, is Edwin De Los Santos, who's fighting Shakur Stevenson very soon. So depending on what happens there, that could leave him out of the running. The person after that is Keyshawn Davis, but he's currently serving a ban for marijuana. And the person after that is Denis Berenchik, something like that, a Ukrainian. So yeah, we'll just have to see who's available. I'm hoping that this isn't a very timely process. You know, I want to go, right, IBF to just literally ring, go, right, do you want this fight? No, right, next. Do you want this fight? And then, right, you're ordering it, there it is. Get the deal done and get that fight. It's got to be done by so and so. You know, that's what I want. You know, I want to make up for this lost time and crack on with my career.
I just want to ask you as well, like, if due to this maybe being a bit of a timely process and kind of waiting for things to kind of happen, would any money fights, maybe big domestic fights around kind of your weight interest you, or is it just kind of you set on a world title, that's it, or kind of where's your head at with that?
Well, domestically, I've been number one for a while, so I've cleared up domestically. Last year, when Kid Galahad stepped up to lightweight, he ended up at number one. I dropped to number two, but then I fought him and beat him and went back to my top spot. So there's nobody domestically, you know, I've cleared up domestically, there's no domestic fights for me. You know, I'm obviously ranked highly in world, so I'm going for them big fights. The only way I would probably give up my position with IBF is for, you know, a bigger money fight, you know, the likes of Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, you know, them kind of names. That's the only reason that I'd give up my IBF position, but you know, I've earned my position and I've worked hard for it, and I'm there on merit. So, you know, I'm going to follow that, and you know, my aim is now to become IBF world champion.
Brilliant. Obviously, with regards to the Kambosas fight and the way it went, not many people at all probably expected that fight to go the way it did. Is there maybe a bit of a thought thinking, right, it might be hard to get a fight now because people might not want to fight me due to being a slick, awkward southpaw?
Yeah.
Do you reckon there could be a bit of a thought thinking some fighters might not want to fight you and I might have to go and maybe move up weight or move down weight? And
yeah, well,
like that?
there could be that. But again, that's why I'm, you know, in the position that I'm going to be ordered. You know, if nobody will fight me, become mandatory, so somebody's got to. So, you know, that's the position we're in with the IBF, to be ordered to a final eliminator now. You know, so get the final eliminator, win that, then I'm going to be ordered as mandatory. So whoever's got the IBF has got to face me. So that's the only way, you know, if nobody is going to be willing to fight me on a voluntary, you know, become mandatory, so they have to.
Will there be a chance that we see you fight in the UK again? I know that obviously you fought on Lou DiBella promotions with the on Top Rank with the Kambosas fight. I think the last fought in England, was that in Nottingham against Galahad?
Yeah.
Will there be a chance maybe that you even fight in the UK again?
It depends who it's against, and you know, if a fight goes to purse bids, depends which promoter would win that and where they'd be willing to stage the fight. So yeah, it's you know, I probably will. Well, saying that, I really don't know. Could be anywhere. I don't really mind where it is, as long as the judges are fair.
Yeah.
That's my only concern, is the judges.
Well, yeah. Is there a slight maybe regret going into that Kambosas fight, knowing how it was kind of stacked against you? Do you kind of feel that maybe going back you maybe would have asked for a couple more demands, or because like you said, it were heavily stacked against you. You won the fight in a lot of people's opinions. Was it frustrating maybe looking back at how it were kind of stacked against you?
Yeah, I don't know what I could have done. You know, I never knew. I never worried about that. You know, in preparation for the fight, never thought I'm going to get robbed here, because you know, two neutral guys, Australia and England, in America. You know, we are neutrals here. But one thing, since we found out, since spoke to Ed Levine, who's head of the IBO, apparently they'd put a request in for certain judges, you know, IBO proper judges, And I think reading that was shut down. You know, that, oh no, the judges were already selected. I didn't know this before the fight, which had I known, and maybe would have says, well, why is the judges selected? Why are they selected and who are they? You know, and maybe could have explored that, but you know, I was super confident of winning the fight. I thought, you know, they can have bent judges, but I'm going to win that convincingly. That they can't do it, which I did, and that's why it's been such controversy, because in everybody's eyes I won convincingly, except for them 3 judges. So yeah, it's one of them annoying things, isn't it? What can I do?
Just a couple more, Maxi. I know. I want to ask your opinion on that Lomachenko v Kambosas fight. Like you said, it's a big fight around your weight. It's the one that you could potentially have the winner of. What's your thoughts on that fight?
Firstly, it should be me v Loma. That's the first thought that goes through my head. But my opinion on it, I think, unless Loma's aged overnight, you know, and his efforts helping Ukrainian war have took him off his A game, I think that's George's only chance. But other than that, you know, I think it'd be a major beatdown for Loma.
Stoppage, do you reckon he could
probably
stop it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Reece Mould, one of your stable mates, just want to quickly touch on him going to Ireland to fight someone you was linked to fight, Gary Cully. And then we know what happened with Gary Cully on the first fight with the first undercard of...
What happened like?
I'll let you explain. I hadn't probably spoke to you about that Gary Cully fight yet, but like looking back and you were being linked to fight him and stuff like that, what were your reaction to Gary Cully getting beat that night?
Almost like maybe a bit of a I told you so, you know, because the Matchroom wanted to make that fight, Cully and his team wanted that fight, whereas I was trying to say, I'm above that level, I've proved it. You know, I got my Mexican test against a big unknown Mexican banger who was in great form, you know, only fighting a couple of months previous against James Tennyson, who everyone knows how much he can bang and how well he did. You know, I passed my Mexican test with flying colours. Cully got his, and you know, I was saying he's not ready because he hasn't got the experience, the seasoning. So you know, I think that's that with that. But you know, it's, you know, my mate Reece, he's got his opportunity, and he's more than ready for it.
Looking at that fight, it's a great opportunity for Reece. Unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to fight a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
The day before, I think, pulling out. Is this the first opportunity that got presented to Reece and he was like, right, I'm in, I want to fight Gary Cully? Was it kind of like that? Did it go like that?
It'd been a bit frustrating for him because he's had some bad luck recently on these shows. You know, it's happened to him a couple of times. Which, you know, it's hard. He's done like, in the last maybe 2 years, he's done like 3 proper training camps where he's took himself out of work, got himself ready, and usually the week at fight, days before the fight, it all goes to pot. So you know, he was left feeling a bit frustrated, but you know, he got this opportunity, and as long as he made sure, you know, he stood his ground and made sure the deal was worth it for him. So he's got his opportunity, and you know, he's buzzing for it.
Do you reckon you back your stable mate to go?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's trained hard. You know, he's trained along for it. Obviously, he did a full training camp. His fight got cancelled day before, and it wasn't long after that, maybe the week after, this fight came. So boom, he's straight back in. So he's already there with his fitness and everything. He was fighting a tall southpaw as well. So all his preparation was for a tall southpaw. So that's only going to help him. This time, it's, you know, he's not had to change things around. It's just boom, continue with that. So, you know, he's buzzing for it.
Looking forward to going to Ireland as well for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you know, we're waiting to find out either Wednesday or Thursday next week. We'll be going over and ready to cause a big upset.
Final one, Maxi. When do we think that we'll see you back in the ring? Have you got a month in mind where you want to be out by?
Early next year, February, March. Not a lot usually happens in January, but if we can get out as early as February, March, that'd be ideal for me, because then that, is enough time left in year to have another fight.
Brilliant. Want to have a good Christmas as well, I'm guessing as well.
Yeah, well, I suppose we've got the 2 kids, so it's I don't drink a lot anyway. I'm not a big eater, so it don't if I were fighting 1st of January, that'd be sound with me. I look after myself year round, so if I were to fight January, fine.
Brilliant. Interesting. Right, appreciate your time, Maxi, as always, mate. Good catching up, and I'm looking forward to seeing you back in the ring.
Cheers, pal.